High fives all round because Eddie Howe's mags are absolutely fucking class. 5-1 against West Ham tonight. I am absolutely flying. Just when you thought things couldn't get any better after that Man United performance on Sunday, which was the best game of the season, we go away from home 3 days later and smash 5 goals down in the capital. The West Ham match reaction's coming up, so make sure, Newcastle fans, you stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter. Welcome back indeed, you lovely, beautiful Newcastle fans on this fine Wednesday evening. 5 goals, Champions League looking more and more likely by the week, and Eddie Howe's mags can literally do no wrong at the moment. Wow, I am still absorbing what I've just seen. Goals galore. Performances left, right and centre, fantastic, which we'll touch on in a second. And just how many times do you go away from home and score 5? How many times does that happen? You've got to literally lap up every moment. And if there's a London team to go down and score 5 past, it's a struggling West Ham. Lovely jubilee, lovely journey back. I wasn't able to go to the game tonight. I did have a ticket, as I said on the match preview, but because of Brentford and Villa coming up, I couldn't make it down with it being midweek. I'm gutted about that. I've got to say, every Newcastle fan watching this who might be travelling home, who went to the game, maybe if you're watching the next day, let me know what that was like, because I am so jealous I was not amongst that crowd at the end after a performance like that. Wow. Where do we even start on that? Going into the game, there was question marks over some of the team selections with regards to making changes. I was devastated to see Isak come out. I was devastated to see them. I wasn't devastated because I like JOELINTON. I wanted him for Man U. But a lot of people, as soon as I went on social media, wanted the team to stay the same. And Eddie Howe has just basically done that to anyone who wanted that. Because, yes, he's talked in the aftermath of the game about squad rotation being important. The 2 players he's brought in JOELINTON and Wilson, have scored 2 goals each. I mean, Eddie Howe, the absolute maestro. The king of Newcastle. I think it's fair to say Eddie Howe can start being called with what he's done with this team and this club. And yeah, the substitutions worked. Callum Wilson, whilst we're on the topic of him, he looks a different player. And I've watched his post-match interview where he's actually said he had a couple of niggles the past couple of months. And now that summer camp, that summer warm training camp in Dubai has sorted him out. He looks the Callum Wilson that we've always loved. He's doing things now and tonight mainly that he wasn't doing 3 or 4 weeks ago. Running the channels, the high press, the sharpness, the willingness to win the ball down, and then he's on the move. He was here, there and everywhere, and he looked up for it. And what I find really interesting with Callum Wilson, yes, we know he had a fantastic record against West Ham, so that he's talked about that in his post-match. But I think Isak's form, and I watched his podcast where he speaks to Mikel Antonio. He said that he doesn't like being on the bench, and that's riled him up a little bit. So long may that continue. And he looked a man on a mission tonight. He's back in the team from the start. And I thought he played fantastic. And now we are looking, unlike what a lot of the other teams are missing, who are going for the Champions League, we have 2 strikers in form. Alexander Isak, who looks a class above, and now Mr. Callum Wilson, who we all know and love as a goal scorer. It looks like he's back as well, and they are chomping at the bit to be in that team for Brentford. And that's amazing. To have 2 informed strikers and only be playing 1, long may that continue. And I thought Wilson was absolutely brilliant tonight. Sharp again, mindset looks right, and he was just bang up for it. He's saying, come on, Alex, this is my position. You're going to have to fight a little bit harder to keep it. So, absolutely fair play to him. JOELINTON obviously came back in. His aggression I love. He's one of my favourite Newcastle players. And he added some goals tonight. Miles onside. That linesman needs an absolute bomb up his backside to call that offside. But all hail VAR. Oh, Lord, VAR. It saved us. And we shouldn't have conceded tonight. We shouldn't have. Nick Pope. We're not going to touch on that because it was a brilliant night regardless. But Nick Pope will not want to watch that one back. He should have got it with his height. He wasn't really overly challenged. He looked like he didn't sort his feet out. That's not a nice moment for him. And he has had a couple of mistakes the past 3 or 4 weeks if you include his red cards and whatnot. But That's probably the only disappointment of tonight. The only disappointment is conceding 1 goal when we've scored 5. Some of the football tonight was slick. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say West Ham didn't help us to 3 points tonight. They were awful. I'd be worried if I was a Cockney down there watching that. The goals that they handed us on a plate was awful. You know, the goalkeeping mistake for Wilson's second goal was awful. They were really bad. But that's not taken away from us because they were still pressing us for spells in the first half, not so much in the second half. And I thought we were playing free-flowing football tonight. We were good going forward. Generally speaking, we were good at the back, obviously, apart from the 1 goal we conceded. Nick Pope wasn't really troubled other than that. He wasn't. I think he had a free kick to save from Paqueta in the first half. Generally speaking, though, another quiet day for our back four. And on topic of the back four, my man of the match today, it's not Callum Wilson, it's not JOELINTON, it's Fabian Schär. And I know that might surprise a few people because we've been generally solid and more's happened at the other end. Fabian Schär is going a little bit under the radar. So Botman was in Shearer's team of the week after the Man U game. Because he's not the new guy and he's not the new signing, he's going a little bit under the radar in terms of praise. And I think Fabian Schär, if you throw in his assist for JOELINTON's goal that was given, ruled as offside, then obviously given, that was a lovely pass. So he's got an assist on top there. He made some fantastic slide tackles. His positioning, his awareness, his aggression. Fabian Schär is playing some of the best football. I'm not going to say I've followed his career, but without a doubt in his time at Newcastle. And he was absolutely perfect tonight. I think that was a perfect centre-back's performance. I really, really watched him. Obviously, I've watched it on the telly. You can watch players a bit closer. He was my man of the match. So defensively, we were sound. And we are looking now at a Newcastle team who not only, when we are in this mood, and our season is back, so we forgot what it was like to watch this again because we've gone that long spell with no goals, lots of draws, a little bit stale. The cup final affected us. We are now back to the team that was going to Fulham 3 or 4 months ago and winning 4-0, beating Brentford 5-1 at home, turning teams over week after week. And it's just like we've just picked that back up again. It's the perfect time to get this Champions League football. It really, really is. Brentford on Saturday, tough place to go. I don't fear them though. We've got 2 strikers both in form fighting for that position up front. We've got a fantastic midfielder in Bruno pulling the strings. Murphy's looking really good on the right. Maximin is back. Alan St-Maximin, I've been a critic of him. I've always wanted to be proved wrong though because we know what he can do on his day. He's now doing it. He was good again tonight. So dangerous. At places where you maybe don't see him as dangerous because he's normally a big match player. He was good, and long may that continue going into that Brentford match on Saturday. So now we're looking at this Newcastle side in the most important part of the season who have options off the bench. We made 3 substitutes at once, which you don't see very often, and the flow of our game didn't change. How many times can you say that as a Newcastle fan? 3 players come in of quality, and we just continue where we left off. That's what Eddie Howe has now got. That's what happens when we get taken over with the players we've brought in, the Anthony Gordons. It's fantastic. Isak coming off the bench, Anthony Gordon coming off the bench, Willock, who's been one of our best players in the 3 weeks, coming off the bench. The player he replaces has scored 2 goals in JOELINTON. Absolutely fantastic. And Eddie Howe now has got selection headaches. There's a buzz in the air again. We've got that high press back where defenders, and we saw it again tonight. Murphy, high press, forces the mistake, easy goal for Callum Wilson. The press is back, the possession football is back, and now when we go forward, we look like scoring, and that's thanks to Maximin, that's thanks to Jacob Murphy, and that's thanks to these 2 strikers who are sort of both fighting with each other for that starting place. And things right now, as a Newcastle fan, could not look rosier, and I didn't see this coming 3 weeks ago. I didn't think that goal drought was going to sort itself out. Going into that Wolves match, which was the first one after a spell of really struggling to score. And it was really important that we won that one. We've just never looked back. And now we all have our spring in the step. The players do, the management do, the fans do, the city does, the atmosphere does. The atmosphere's never gone away, but now it's like, shit, this can actually happen. Eddie Howe's not wanting to talk about Champions League. Callum Wilson's not wanting to talk about Champions League. But we are looking like one of the favourites as it stands right now. Over your Man Uniteds, your Tottenhams, who we've still got to play at home. it's exciting, and I'm just absolutely buzzing. That's probably the way I'm coming across on this video. But start to finish tonight, yes, we were helped by West Ham. Yes, we are probably not going to play a worse defensive performance than what West Ham put on short night. I'm not surprised their fans left. But we were still slick, controlled, calm on the ball, dangerous going forward. Never stopped. Even when we were 3-1 up, 4-1 up, we never stopped trying to press for another chance. And then the fact we can sprinkle players coming off the bench to make us look just as good and offer that strength in depth. Strength in depth is something I talked about months ago as us not having. It was the reason we weren't going to get Champions League. Now I'm talking about us having strength in depth. And Almiron's out injured as well. He's to come back. So things have flipped. And I'm absolutely on cloud nine with that. And on to Brentford we go. Because I tell you what, Newcastle fans, I hope you're enjoying your night. I hope you enjoy walking into work tomorrow. Because these kind of nights, 5-1 away from home, don't come along that often. So enjoy it. Enjoy every moment. I am going to Brentford on Saturday. Yes. Cannot wait to get back on the party bus down to there. So the match preview and the match vlog will be coming for that one. So please, if you've liked this video, drop down and give us a little one of them. That goes a long way and makes this video worth it. And whack that subscribe. Apparently, if you whack the notification bell, you'll even be told when I'm posting stuff. But what a performance. What a night. High fives all round. Cockney tears. And I tell you what, matches don't come much better, do they? Enjoy your night, Newcastle fans, because we are sitting high in third position. And it doesn't look at the moment like anyone is stopping Eddie Howe's Mags. We feel like we are back where we were before Christmas, before the World Cup. That Newcastle team is back. And I'm going to sign off on that one because I'm going to go and crack open a beer. Away the lads.